Hey everybody, how's it going? Like Butter here. Welcome back for another Division video. Today I got something really specific that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Tommy gun, which was recently added into the 1.5 patch. It is extremely hard to get if you don't know how to get it. Basically, the only way to get the Tommy gun, as far as I know, as far as anyone has ever told me, it only comes in the supply drops in the Dark Zone. So if you're not a Dark Zone player, you're probably not going to get this weapon. But, you know, if you get a group of players to go into the Dark Zone, right now in the Dark Zone, nobody is going rogue. Like, my rank has been dropping so much because I've just been going in and not caring and just kind of fighting, and there's like huge groups of like 10 to 12 people all PvEing in the Dark Zone. So it might not be that bad to go in there and try it out. There's like not many people going rogue right now. Probably the lack of rewards and you know, the fact that, you know, gear really doesn't matter much anymore because everyone's pretty much min-max at this point. But yeah, you get it from a supply drop. I got a super lucky one. It comes with a talent in the third slot called Carefree, which gives you increased hipfire damage, which I think is pretty cool. I kind of would have rathered had hipfire accuracy, I think. Just because, you know, the hipfire accuracy on SMGs and on all weapons now is pretty bad, but SMGs got nerfed way too hard when it comes to hipfire accuracy, and I hope that SMGs find a buff in the future, whether it's to go back to crit chance or if it's a, you know, a hipfire buff. But hipfiring the SMGs was like one of the, you know, one of the positives to using an SMG. Now SMGs really don't fit in the meta well, because what's the point when you have assault rifles that shoot just as fast, have longer range, have enemy armor damage as a passive stat instead of something that requires you to crit, like the crit hit damage that's on the SMGs. It just doesn't make sense to take an SMG over an assault rifle. Now, the reason I'm using the Thompson, though, is because the Thompson has an extremely large magazine. The magazine comes with 50 bullets, so mine is about 107 because I have like 100 and, I don't know, 17%, something like that. And it's pretty good. It's definitely one of the most fun weapons that I've used in 1.5. Now, towards the beginning of the video, you guys are seeing me use it with my high-end build that I was using before. It's actually not that bad. It's pretty interesting. I think it comes from the 16% extra damage on the MC gloves. Unfortunately, I didn't have SMG damage, or it would have been even better. And the fact that the damage is higher, you know, you're shooting so many bullets, you know, per minute. It's very, very good. But later on, I actually switched back to my Alpha Bridge build, which I know it sucks. It's like so, you know, everyone's doing it. It's boring, whatnot. But I really, really wanted to get some footage, so I threw it on, and we got some really decent gunfights here that I didn't get when I was running the high-end build. So I think with a group, you know, you can tell I'm running solo here. I think with a group, this will be a really solid weapon to use, because if you're up in their face, which almost everyone is at this point, you know, it can compete with a lot of the weapons. The only thing it can't compete with is the assault rifle, and, you know, the reason for that is obviously not only uncomplicated, you know, is unbelievably overpowered and broken, but also the fact of the matter of, you know, with assault rifles getting a passive stat of enemy armor damage, when, you know, armor is such an essential stat for everyone to build on everything, it becomes way too good of a stat. So I think if in the future, if they remove armor, it won't be as bad, because it will work a lot less. A lot more of your stats will be coming from health and not armor, so that will be pretty interesting there. But for right now, I think the Tommy gun is absolutely fantastic. Now, the 3 talents that I have on my Tommy gun, in the first part of this video, I was using Brutal, Deadly, and Carefree, which Carefree, like I said, is the free talent, the talent that's specific for the Tommy gun. Now, don't get mixed up with the Thompson. Even though the Tommy gun is the Thompson, The Thompson is a different version of this weapon. The Tommy gun is more of the long magazine, up in your face SMG. Now, the reason I like the Tommy gun so much is because it allows me to play kind of how I did in the earlier patches, like 1.1, 1.2, when the hipfire accuracy was super amazing. You could get hipfire accuracy on a PEQ laser. So if you were the type of person like me that likes to run around and strafe, that's just like my SOCOM background, where I like to run, strafe, and spray and just try to, you know, work more on movement rather than accuracy. This weapon allows you to play like that. Even though the hipfire accuracy has been completely nerfed into the ground, it doesn't seem that bad on this weapon specifically. Now, I think it would be a little bit better if you were doing Alpha Bridge to use a different weapon, because the downside about the Thompson is that it has no attachments. The only attachments you can use is a magazine. So you're giving up 7.5% crit chance on your optic. You're giving up crit chance on your barrel. You're giving up, like, you know, stability. You're giving up a bunch of stuff. But it kind of makes up for it because of the high RPM and the high mag size. So, you know, there has to be like that trade-off in between the two things. So I think it's a weapon that's worth trying out. I think in the future, if SMGs get a buff, that this weapon will be absolutely out of control. And you know, I've heard some people say they don't really like the hipfire talent, but I like it. I just don't think it's very good. 11% extra damage. Like, I think it should be at least 15% extra damage, because you got to remember you're giving up a lot of shots, since in order to get the damage you have to hip fire, which means you're hitting less shots because the accuracy on hip fire is so bad. So I would like to see Carefree get buffed, or just the accuracy on SMGs get buffed, because I think it makes sense why assault rifles, LMGs, and those kind of weapons kind of shoot all over the place, you know, because they're heavy weapons. But an SMG, even though they have high fire rates, it just, to me, it would make sense that the small little weapons in your hand that you would be able to control more. But yeah, so the Dark Zone has actually been surprisingly fun when I was running this build, or running this weapon, I should say, because, like I said, just the whole assault rifle, aiming down sights, and then hip firing when you're up close. I like the fact that this build is specifically around just the hip firing up close. It's fun. It makes the kills feel a lot more rewarding. I'm going to be trying it out later, hopefully with a group in the DZ, and see how it is. Like, if you're going to be your one damage dealer in your group, it's not a bad choice to pick up. It's really nice because I talked a lot in 1.3 about consistent damage. Now, if you don't know what consistent damage is, obviously you do, but in the Division, it's all about doing burst damage, but consistent damage can allow you to do more DPS, because the less time you're reloading, the more damage you're doing in a specific time. That's why Firecrest was so strong in 1.3, because, you know, the reload speed was so low that you could use something like an MP7, and you could, you know, shoot, instantly reload, shoot, instant reload. It was 100% reload speed, which was crazy. And the Thompson kind of works the same way, for the fact that it has such a large magazine, that a lot of times people will be reloading, they'll be using skills, they'll be using medkits, and you can constantly just keep pummeling them with shots until they finally go down. Now, I ended up changing Brutal. I got a little sidetracked. I changed Brutal, even though in the first part of this video I was using Brutal. I actually changed it for Responsive, because I noticed that I wasn't going for headshots as much unless they were running directly at me. And this could most likely just be, you know, because PC players have a lot more freedom when it comes to movement. They move really fast and they're harder to hit. So I found myself kind of like aiming for the chest a lot more. And I think when I switched to Responsive, I was getting a lot better results when it came to damage and how much, you know, how fast I was putting people down. So eventually, you know, I would like to make a build around this gun, but it's probably going to be an Alpha Bridge build, and I think people are kind of sick of Alpha Bridge builds. But if you want to see the build that I'm running with this gun, let me know in the comment section below. I will be sure to share that with you guys. And hopefully you guys are, had a great holiday. I do apologize. I haven't been posting as much as I wanted, and it's just because I had family visiting. I had my sister and my mom visiting for a couple days. They actually went home today. And we've also still been moving stuff in. I know it seems like I've been saying that for weeks, and that's because I have. But when you move, it's like constantly things just popping up over and over and over again. We got to do this, we got to order this, we got to put together this, and it's been kind of stressful on me. And if anyone knows the division and the state that it's in right now, it can be pretty frustrating if you're just going and trying to PvP like myself. Like if you're PvEing and you're gearing up and you're trying to get the items necessary for your build, it's kind of relaxing, but the PvP in this game is very frustrating currently, and I think that just comes with the randomness with all the mitigations and stuff. But I've explained that in so many videos, I really don't need to keep saying it. It's I'm beating a dead horse at this point. But I can't wait for January 11th. I'm going to be going out to North Carolina to be testing 1.6, which is the PvP update, early. So I can't wait to get my hands on it, and it's going to be an awesome experience. I want to meet all the guys at Red Storm, and I'm hoping that like Hamish and Yannick and Frederick can make their way down there too, so I can talk with them as well. It's going to be a pretty good experience, to say the least. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully it helped you out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you use the Thompson yourself, let me know if you think it's good, if you don't think it's good. I personally, for my playstyle, I know it might be a little bit harder on console, but the strafing, hip firing, and the really close combat seems to work out really well with this weapon. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care, everybody.
What's up, dude? What's up, dude? Mad Love, nice vid. I'm just going to work, dude.
Rogue status no longer active.
Do you know, I'm a bit lost, man. Do you know where I can find my closest job? A bit lost, man. Oh, is it that way? Dope, bro. Appreciate it, man. Hey, nice vids. Keep it up, bro.